Welcome to World of Woodcraft. I'm Philip Bradley. So I'm making a Christmas cracker for this ornament. Christmas crackers probably aren't as popular in America or elsewhere in the world, but in England, where I'm from, they're pretty damn popular. Mainly they're used in at Christmas time, and they contain a paper hat, a little gift, and a terrible, terrible joke. The idea of a terrible joke isn't something that I think passes on too readily to other cultures, but I think in England we kind of celebrate really, really terrible jokes because it brings people together, the terribleness of them. So what I've done is I've rounded off some burl oak pen blanks that I've been preparing, but I've made far too many of them, um, so that they fit nicer in my pin jaws. Um, I've stabilised some of the inclusions with a little bit of CA glue, and I'm just creating a little box which is the central part of the Christmas cracker. So I've created a little uh, tenon in this piece, and that tenon's going to fit into a piece of this other part of the box. What with it being burl oak, I've been using a fairly aggressive ball gouge and skew in order to avoid any tear out. And I'm parting with the skew because I think it gives a sharper finish. So the diagram that I drew earlier on, that just shows how it's all going to fit together. There's 6 pieces altogether. 4 of them are in this burl, and 2 of them will be in American black walnut, because I think that the contrast of the different woods is particularly satisfying. And here's the black walnut. Again, I'm just making it round so it fits a little bit nicer in the pin drawers. Most of this project is about making fairly accurate joints. I tend to cut something and then offer up a piece in order to make sure that it fits nicely. I tend to use the skew for much, much more than other people do. You could use many other tools to do this, including a spindle gouge, but I had the skew out. I should have probably created the indentation before hollowing out this part here. This way I've created a weak point, but I left it thick enough so that it wasn't really an issue. The next one I do in a much more sensible way. I think when you're making things, chances are you're going to be thinking about how to make it better next time. And if I was going to make many of these, I'd probably develop a much better way of making a lot of them all in batch. Incidentally, I'm using CA glue rather than wood glue. The reason why I'm using CA is a non-brand name of super glue. The reason why I'm using CA is because it dries much faster. And I didn't really need the hold that wood glue gives for this very small project. I also really like CA because it acts as a very good finish, which I'm using it for a little bit here. I've just measured the equal distance from the other side, and I'm using the pointy end of the skew just to go in and make a cut and join up to that cut from the other side, which gives the compressed part of the cracker. Christmas cracker tends to be in England made from cardboard tube with sort of like crepe paper, and it's designed to look a little bit like a sweet. Apparently, I think it was a bonbon, the type of sweet that it's designed to look similar to, and apparently they were introduced to England from Germany, I think in the Victorian era, but I could easily be wrong. Again, I'm using the skew node to part instead of using a parting tool. Uh, it doesn't do badly as a parting tool, but you do need to make sure that you don't just jam it straight in. I used CA glue just then. On a previous model that I made, I actually glued both halves together, which was a bit of a disaster. So here I'm using the glue as a finish, and I'm doing them both separately because gluing them both together it makes for a fairly useless little box. I'm using burnishing cream just to get the real shine there. Yeah, and you pull the cracker at the end of a Christmas meal in order to make sure that everyone has a gift of a little bit of something, a little hat, and you tell the joke.